Question 12A1. We need to explain how the carbon taxes may improve the economic efficiency. So if you have a question like that, what do you need to do? You know that actually if I try to improve the efficiency, that means initially it is not efficient, right? There is initially a problem that we want to solve or we want to lessen. And that's why there are two things you need to do to answer this type of question. The first is you have to explain what problem we have at the beginning without the increase in carbon taxes. The second step is that you need to explain how the problem can be lessened or solved. So these two things are something you need to do to answer this question. So then for step one, how to explain the existing problem. You know that from the source, you know that there is carbon emission and it will pollute the environment, right? Somehow we have the negative externality. So you have to explain why there is negative externality. That means you need to explain why an individual may benefit or harm other individuals without compensating or receiving any payment. So you need to explain why there is external cost first. And after explaining why there is external cost, then you have to explain why the external cost would result in a certain problem. How to explain why this is inefficient, why there is a problem. You have to say that maybe because we have the external cost, the quantity would be larger than the efficient level. And also the marginal social cost is larger than the marginal social benefit. The quantity is larger than the efficient, MSC is larger than SB, so that we have overproduction, too much pollution affecting the others and harming the others' health. So this is step one. And for step two, you need to explain how the problem can be lessened. As I've mentioned before, just like the question with deadweight loss, whenever you have to explain whether the efficiency improve or worsen, there are two things you need to do. First of all, you have to talk about the quantity. Another, you need to talk about the gap. You need to talk about the gap. Whenever the question is about deadweight loss or efficiency, you must explain using these 2 points. These 2 points. One is about the Q, another is about the gap. For the Q, of course, so initially the quantity is larger than the efficient level. Now the carbon taxes are raised, right? And the people will drive less, use a smaller amount of carbon taxes, right? And then you can say that the Q will decrease towards the efficient level. This time, I will not use the word to because the efficiency only improves, but not perfectly attained. And that's why I just say that the Q will decrease towards the efficient level, but not exactly equal to the efficient level. And the second thing you have to mention is about the gap between the marginal social cost and the marginal social benefit. And then clearly, because we are going closer to the efficient level, then the gap would actually be smaller. Because for efficiency, perfectly efficiency, we are actually having these two being the same, right? And then if we are closer to the efficient level, the gap will be smaller. If we are further away from the efficient level, the gap will be larger. So explain why efficiency improves, and you have to tell me that the gap decreases. And this time, I won't say equal because we are not perfectly attaining the efficiency. We just have an improvement in the efficiency only. So these are the ways you answer question related to externality and also the efficiency. There are two things you need to do. First of all, explain the externality, and then explain how the efficiency improves or worsens. Then from your mock practice, there are two different mistakes that I figured out from your mock practice. The first one, I call it level 1. So some of you said that the efficiency improves because the carbon taxes can reduce the marginal social cost. This is not correct. As I have mentioned, what you have to explain is the gap between the marginal social cost and the marginal social benefit. We are not going to minimize the marginal social cost because to attain the efficiency, we don't need 0 for the marginal total cost. We just want marginal total cost to equal marginal total benefit. We are not having marginal total cost being zero. If marginal total cost is zero, what does it mean? It means that we produce nothing. Of course, if we produce nothing, we don't have any pollution, but everybody will die, right? We don't want the social cost to be zero. We just want it to be equal to the marginal social benefit. And that's why when you explain why the efficiency improved, you are not telling me that the marginal social cost decreases. You should tell me that the gap decreases. So this is what you have to explain. And some of you did better in your mock practice. You know that you have to explain something about the gap or the divergence. Divergence means the difference, actually the gap. So, but you wrote down something like that. You say the gap between the social cost and the private cost decreases. This is not correct. This is not correct. We are actually having this as the condition of the efficiency, right? We are not having social cost equals private cost, because somehow if we also have external benefit, even if social cost is equal to private cost, the social cost may not be equal to social benefit, right? So the condition for efficiency is the cost equals benefit. The social cost equals social benefit rather than social cost equals private cost. And that's why when you need to explain why the efficiency improved using the gap, then the gap is not the gap between the social cost and the private cost, but it is the social cost and the social benefit. Please remember this. Probably in this year DSE, you will also have a question related to efficiency and externality, and you have to explain in this way.